Welcome to the Land of House YouTube channel. I'm Seth. Today I have the Litheli P600 power station. Let's unbox this, take a look at all of its features, and then put it through the test to see how well it performs. Let's do a basic unboxing here to see what comes in this package. Right here on the top is the user manual. Two U batteries right here on the top. We'll get into those in just a moment. Those are removable and can be used to charge devices outside of the power station. There is the power station itself. And then let's get to the last box here. Looks like it's the power hub accessories. I've got the Litheli P600 power station out of the box. Let's go ahead and look at its features real quick. So starting here on the front, this right here is where the two U batteries will go in. It has a cigarette lighter port right here, so you can use your 12 volt applications there. Down here we've got two DC barrel plugs. Over here is a PD in or out 100 watt. Got a 12 watt USB, another one over here, and here is the in for the DC 100 watt barrel plug. And there's the button where you turn on all of those DC ports. Now if we move up here to the top, you'll see that it has a 15 watt wireless charging port. You just set your device right there and it will be able to charge. Move over here, just have a little cooling fan right there. Move to the back. It has a single handle on the side that is locked down or stationary. Now if we move over to this side is where you can see your two AC outlets. So right there, they do have the option to plug the ground so you can use your bigger extension cords. AC button right here will turn on the AC power. And then if you move up here to the bottom, it's got some rubber feet to keep this from sliding around, and then some information on the sticker for how to charge and discharge this unit. Let's open up the power hub accessory pack for the B600 power station. We have an AC to DC power brick, which will allow AC power to charge this unit by 100 watts. There we go, very basic, just plug straight into the wall. We'll test that out here in just a moment. Here is a cigarette lighter charging cable. So has the cigarette lighter on this side, and the other side has your barrel plug. So you can connect this to the unit and charge probably between 80 and 100 watts from what I've seen in other power stations. This other cable has an MC4 connector on one side to the barrel plug on the other, and this is to be used with a 100 watt solar panel, and I actually have that here that we will get into in just a moment. And then the last provided cable is a PD or a USB type C to USB type C. You can use this for the fast charging, and that's what is going to connect into your wall power brick here. So it's got that on the front. Very cool. So those cables all feel like they are well made. We will test each of them here in just a moment. This little box contains the two U batteries that are designed to go with the Litheli P600. There's a white one and a black one here in the little case. So these basically will plug up into the power station here on the side, which we will get to in just a moment. But they will charge up separately. Then you can remove them, push the power button, and then use the USB here on the back. So it's got the PD, or you can call it USB type C, that you can use this to charge up a phone on the go, or any other type of appliance that you need. Now on this one, it actually has a USB out as well here on the front. So that one is a bit more practical for using different charging ports. The white one though just has a single USB type C there on the back. And lastly, there is a user manual included in this package, and it has some good information. The strange thing is, I can't seem to find the battery type anywhere. Oftentimes these power stations will say in bold type whether it's a lithium iron phosphate battery or just a lithium ion. And so far, I don't see it here in this package. So I'll have to look around and see if I can't find out what this is. Litheli also sent over the 100-watt folding solar panel that connects through MC4 connectors to the power station. So let's go ahead and open this up and take a look so we can use this to also charge this power station. All right. So first thoughts, it has a nice cloth finish here on the front of the solar panel. That might wick up some moisture, I don't know. Has a carrying handle with a good bit of Velcro here, and then a water-resistant zipper. So it is designed to at least be out in the elements some. Go ahead and open things up. A little tiny operator's manual. And then if I pull this out here, the panel itself is detachable from the storage bag. Okay, so it has 4 snaps on the outside of the panel to hold it together. And then it opens up in 4 different sections. Now it's a rather cold day today, so this is a bit, I guess it's holding some memory and it doesn't want to fold out completely. I imagine though once I put this in the sun, it will fold out really well. It does have a rubberized coating on here to keep any moisture or damage to this from happening. It's got some twisty ties around the cables. It's a bit interesting to see the cables come out of different sides. Just whacked myself in the head. Seeing the cables come out on the sides of the middle piece here is different. I'm not seeing an indicator for positive or negative, but if you're using the supplied cable here, where are you? It only connects in one direction, so no problems there. Notice how the solar panel has the grommets on the ends, and that's what's going to be used here on this little stand. Pop out these clips, and it has a little post in there that will snap into the solar panel. So this basically folds out like this. These will fold up like this, and then you can extend these feet out like this. There are holes in the bottom of the feet. You can use a stake to keep this panel from blowing over. That's quite handy. And now there are these little tabs right here. I'll bring you in closer so you can see that. But they will snap into the solar panel. They can extend out as far as you need. This panel isn't super long, so we won't have to have all of that. But anyway, that's the general idea of how this attaches to the solar panel. So now to turn this unit on, I'm going to hold down this power button down here for a second or two. The display pops up. Hopefully you can see that. It's got 28% battery left from shipping. So we need to go ahead and charge this up before we do any discharge testing. To insert the U batteries, I'm going to find the 3 holes that are back here, and I'm just going to slide this into place like that, and it makes a connection. So same thing with this one over here, except it's just upside down. Slide that in, and it makes a connection there. So those 2 will now charge whenever the unit is charging either in the sun, by the car, or by the wall plug. It's a very sunny day today, so let's go ahead and test out the solar charging first. So it looks like I need to have my little stand about right here. Using these little tabs here, gonna open that up, place that little post in there, and snap that into place. Here's a closer view of how those little posts snap into those grommets. So you have to squeeze the sides right here, and that will lift that up, and then you can just simply place the post into that hole and then snap that down, and it will lock into place. I have the EMC4 connector right here, so I'm going to get that attached to my solar panel. Like I was saying, it's only got one direction that it will work, so this one right here will snap onto this side, and then the other side is going to snap into there. And now, just simply going to plug this into the in barrel plug. it immediately turns on the display and starts showing that charging is happening. First thing you'll note is that the display is spinning round and round, showing that charging is happening. So we've got also the red light indicators over here on the U batteries, showing that those are also charging. Hopefully you can see that red light there and down there as well. So I'm seeing that there is an output of 14 watts going to those U batteries, and there is only an input of 11 watts. So let me see if I can adjust the panel some and get a higher input. The legs on this stand are adjustable, so I can move this down into the sun a bit better and hopefully get a little bit more power going into this power station. The display is showing a 6-hour charge time, 91 watts coming in, 15 watts charging those U batteries, and still at 28%. So we'll give this a couple of minutes and we'll also try out the other charging methods. Let's see how quickly I can break down this solar panel and get it back into the bag, leaving the MC4 connectors on there. So just going to pop all of these clips up, and that frees the solar panel from the stand behind. And fold this, click those snaps into place. All right, and now hopefully I'll be able to fit all of this, including those MC4 cables, into the storage bag. Yeah, no problem whatsoever with the solar panel. Everything about this panel seems to be well made. I really appreciate that. Now the stand is not going to fit in that bag, and so you have to make sure you have somewhere to store this, but it does break down to a decent small size. Now I figured out what these metal things are on the back. These are the stakes that are included to keep this from blowing away whenever it's windy out. Now it's time to test out the car charger. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the car on here. All right, I hadn't pushed the cable in all the way. Looks like we got 89 watts coming in here. Hopefully you can see that display there. 89 watts, it's 6 hours charging, 29%. So if you live a life where you travel a lot, then you should be able to use this car charger to charge up your power station. The last charging method here is to use the power brick. I'm going to plug that into the wall and then use the included USB Type-C to go from the wall plug here, nice solid connection, down here to the in or out on the USB Type-C. Man, I like that. Very good solid connection whenever it clicks in there. This started to buzz and now it is charging. The fan did kick on right away because this is running at 92 watts and it looks like it's charging at the output of 7 watts to these over here, and you can see they are red now, charging as well. So it says 5 hours on this charging. I'm gonna let this sit for a while and we will come back, and then once it's fully charged we will do testing of the wireless charging, the DC outputs, and then also over here we will test out the outputs of the AC. I've waited until the battery is fully charged at 100 right here. Go ahead and disconnect that cable, and I'm going to also remove the power brick from the wall. And so now that it is 100% charged, let's go ahead and do some testing here with some of the DC and AC outputs. Now that I have the battery fully charged, let's do some discharge tests here. So let's first start off with this air compressor. This will connect to the cigarette lighter port. So I'm just going to remove that little rubber plug and stick this in here. Now there is a DC button right here. When you click that, it shows that the car cigarette lighter port is working. This immediately turns on. Let's go ahead and push the power and see if this has enough juice to push through. I saw 90 watts there on the output. So that is working properly. Now whenever you finish using the DC, click that and it will turn it off, so it will save some power here. Now over here on this side is the AC output. I'm going to press the AC button and the light comes on down here. The fan also turns on inside the unit. So I'm going to plug up a 200 watt LED panel to see if this will turn on. and it sure does. The thing is nice and bright. Now if we look on the display here, it has, let's see, 181 watts output, and it says it will run that for 3 hours. Very cool. That's a pretty serious load to put on this little unit here. Now one thing I want to test out while this is going is what happens if we plug up the power brick here while it has such a high load being drawn. Will it both charge and output at the same time? Let's find out. So plug that up. Yep, it sure will. We've got, let's see, 70, 80, 92 watts going in, 179 going out, which means it will now run this for 5 hours. I also want to test out my cell phone, so let's see if it's already turned on and ready to go. Yep, sure is. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe not. Anyway, it is now charging per that red light right there. So that is properly functioning. Now with the battery fully charged, I want to do a discharge test using the AC power. So typically units like this will have about an 80% efficiency. So what I'm going to do is time how long it takes for this 200 watt LED to bring down this battery to 0. So let's go ahead and get the stopwatch ready here. All right, I'm going to turn on the AC over here, plug this up, and start my stopwatch. So let's see, we've got the fan running, 184 watts, 3 hours is what it says it's going to be running this at. So I will step back down here in 3 hours and we will see if this thing is doing what it says it's going to do. At 1 hour and 45 minutes, it is at 32% right here, and it is holding very consistent at the 184 to 185 watts. And it says 1 hour remaining here on the battery. So I will be back sometime in the next 20 or 30 minutes to check again, and we will see how well this is doing. 2 hours and 17 minutes in, down to 9%. The display started blinking once it got to 10%. Now if you were using this for daily activities, I would definitely recommend that you stop at 10% and recharge it. You don't want to always bring these batteries down to 0 every time, so just give yourself that extra little cushion there to make these batteries last a lot longer. It's been 2 hours and 33 minutes. The percentage here is now down to 1% and still running pretty consistent at 186 watts. So I think that 185 or 186, there we go. And our time is 2:33. I brought this power station into the house because it was getting really cold out in the studio. Let's do some math on the discharge here. So it ran at 185 watts for a period of 153 minutes. So 185 times 153 is 28,305 divided by 60 gives us a watt hours of 471. Now this unit is rated at 562 watt hours. So to find the efficiency, we can take that 471 times 100 divided by 562 gives us 83.9. So you can basically say that this was running at 84% efficient, which is actually pretty good for these power stations. So that is good to see. I've got a stopwatch ready, and I'm going to go ahead and plug this up to my house power. And so we will get a timed charge on this. Let's go ahead and plug this up here and push the start button, and we will see how long this is going to take to charge. Now it's not a fast charge unit since it only goes to about 100 watts on the charge. And the display currently says 7 hours, so we'll see if that's accurate or not. It took the B600 right at 6 hours and 10 minutes to fully charge. Let's go ahead and test out the U batteries here. I'm going to pop this one out by pushing in, and that one as well. So the back of each of these has a USB Type-C. I'm unable to use those on some of my older devices like this kid's tablet, and so this battery right here won't really be able to use, but this one right here does have the USB on the front. So I'm going to go ahead and connect a simple USB cable right here. And then I should be able to charge up this tablet with this USB battery. Looks like that light has turned on right away, and the tablet is now showing that it is charging. So good. That one is working properly. I believe this tablet was 100% discharged, so we'll let that sit and see if it gets to 100%. And now I've got this little power bank here. Let's go ahead and charge that up with the DC here. Hold this down. Unit turns on. We've got 7 watts on the output right there. And then I also have this flashlight, which we can charge as well through the USB. The red light is now on for this as well. And we've got 10 watts on the output here. All right, I don't have anything currently that needs this USB Type-C. So let's just push this back in here and let that be. It's been a while now. This unit right here is fully charged, which is nice to know. The light here is now showing a blue color, and that means it is also fully charged. Now, as far as this tablet goes with this small battery, let me unplug this here, and let's see. It's blinking. I think that means it's out of battery there. And this tablet was charged up to 52% from 0. So that has worked as well. Now let's see if we plug this back in here, if it automatically begins to charge. It does. So we've got 6% or 6 watts going in here, at 94% there. And this one is blinking, so I think it is done. But it does have that USB Type-C, and so I'm not really able to use anything off of that here at my house. Now that I have done the discharge and charging tests, let's see what happens if you overload this circuit. This is a 600 watt power station, so if I use this heater, which is anywhere up from 600 to about 1400, and then I've got a 200 watt LED here, so let's just see if one or both of these will trip this unit. So let me turn on the AC. No, power button first. Okay, that's on. Turn the AC. Okay, very good. Plug up this little heater and see if it will trigger this. Start off with just the fan. All right, that's going, running at 12 watts. So this right here should trip this thing. 482 watts. All right, let's see one more time here. Okay, it's running at 720 watts. Let's see if it'll trigger this in case it has a surge power on it. Not yet. All right, if I plug this one up though, that would put it into the 1000 watt range. 800. Interesting. I was expecting this thing to trip already. There it goes. All right. So it did have surge power for quite a while there. Nice. Very cool. And now we know that it will run that about 800 or 900 watts for a while there. Okay. So let's see if it needs to be restarted or if it will start working again with the watts lower. Okay, it's not coming on. Let's push the AC button again. Okay, I think that's restarting it. Yeah, nice. So all you have to do is just push the AC button again. You don't even have to turn the unit off for this to come back on again. And now it's time for my pros and cons of the Litheli B600. So first of all, let's talk about the solar panel and the stand. So the bag, the stand, and then the solar panel here. I got it a bit muddy because it's quite muddy out here in the winter time. Let's go ahead and once again discuss this and kind of walk through all of these individually. All right, well, so first thing to note, the bag here on the solar panel is great. It's a high quality fabric, has a pad inside, and the zipper is water resistant. And so this thing, I believe, is made to last for a while. So that's really good. If you open this up, the panel, it's pretty cold out today, but the panel is real stiff, and so it may take a bit of use before this becomes loose and functions real smooth. But it has snaps that seem to hold this together nicely. The cables up here on the top, I had never seen them like this where they come out the sides. Doesn't seem to bother me, but just different. Cable length is plenty long enough to attach into that power station, and these do have that rubber coating on here to keep this from getting moisture to it. The snaps on the side they're good. They seem to snap pretty strong and hold the panel in place. I don't know if they are going to stay snappy for the long run, so we'll have to see how those do. So yes, the panel itself, I think it's good. I like this one. So where I find the panel to be very nice, I'm actually finding the stand here to be a little bit cumbersome. So the bag here is very weak. I don't see that holding up for very long. But if you're using these often, you probably won't even keep the bag, so that's okay. So yes, the stand works, it's fine, but I don't know, it's just a bit awkward to have to unfold these things and then line up your clamps there. I don't know if I showed these very close before, but you just pop that loose and you can snap it back into place, and they kind of dance around on you, so you have to really line them up right. I think when the panel becomes less stiff, then those will work out a lot better. So anyway, the stand works, it's just a little bit cumbersome. Okay, now for the power station. So one thing to note right off is that the discharge test showed this to be operating at about 84% efficiency. That's higher than most. A lot of times I see around the 80%. So nice that this has a capacity that is working well. So yeah, I couldn't find the battery type on here, either online in the manual or here on the power station, whether it's a lithium iron phosphate or just a lithium ion battery. I would like to have known that, and I'm not sure. I don't really want to open it up to find out either. So let's talk about this unit. Wireless charging was responsive and worked right away. I appreciate that. I've had some units that cut out after 5 minutes or so, and this one did not. The display is nice, very basic, but has the information you want on there. And there are several different lamp indicators to show faults and errors, so that's nice. It even will show low temperature charging on there as well. So if it's below freezing, I'm kind of thinking these are lithium iron phosphate batteries because the operating temperature for charging is 32 degrees up to like 120 or something like that. So a lot of times your lithium ion batteries will go down below freezing a little bit. Yeah, so I was able to use this one, I think, on the U battery because it had the USB on the front or the USB Type-C on the back. But if you have a USB Type-C device you want to charge, whoa, hello, very responsive spring. You can use just the white one. Now, if you push the button on the front, you can see the charge indicator state. But those will charge back up whether or not you're connected to an external power source or not. So that was nice. So this unit right here will, as soon as you plug them up and they're discharged, it will start to charge them. Yep, so your input charging is only 100 watts, so it does take a while. From 0 to 100% was about 6 hours and 10 or 15 minutes. So that was quite a while. Let's see, the AC side, we found that it operated well, even up to a surge of 800 watts. So if you have something you need to run quickly for a higher than 600 watts, you can do that. Carrying handle is a little bit, it's different. It's awkward here on the side instead of being straight up and down, but it's okay. It seems strong enough to hold everything, and there is no LED light on this unit. So yeah, charging methods. You have your car charger, you got your wall charger, and then you can do solar, And then of course you can have your outputs through the 100 watt out, the 12 watt USBs, your DC, you've got your cigarette lighter there. Now the cigarette lighter can be a little bit tricky to push that back in, but it's going to be just fine. All right, there you go. And that's my first look of the Litheli P600 power station. If you've enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up and check the links in the description if you want to learn more about this unit. I'm Seth with the Land to House channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.